All right, everybody, peace. Welcome to the STBY, the college football show. Wherever, however you're listening, we're so grateful to have you here with us. As you guys know, I'm your host, Casuan. And listen, guys, we got a very special episode today for our show. We're going to be recapping and reviewing the newest iteration of the rankings put forth by the College Football Playoff Committee. And we're also going to be debating who the best one-loss team is in the country currently. So let's not waste any time, guys. Let's go ahead and get right into it. But if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well, so you guys can stay up to date on all of our latest content. Be sure to follow us on Patreon as well. You can do so by going to patreon.com, clicking on the search bar, and typing in "Sorry to Bother You" show. That way you can get access to all of our exclusive content that we post daily. And if you'd like to support our network and our company, you can do so by following the link in the ticker below. It's streamelements.com/sorrytobotheryoushow/tip. Once again, it's streamelements.com/sorrytobotheryoushow/tip. None of this is possible without you guys, the fans. So we're so grateful and honored for all the love and support that you show us. So with that being said, guys, let's get right into it, shall we? Like I said, listen, we've got some new updates from the rankings put forth by the College Football Playoff Committee. And one of those being that Washington has now joined the top four. Washington's coming off a resounding victory over Oregon State, in which they won 24-22. Coupled with the fact that Florida State struggled against South Alabama. I think they played. If I'm wrong about that one, if you guys correct me. But they also lost Heisman hopeful Jordan Travis for the remainder of the season with the lower leg injury. The committee saw this and thought what everyone else was thinking, that does this hurt Florida State's chances of remaining undefeated? And the committee thinks that it does. And the committee now no longer looks at Florida State as one of the top four teams with the loss of Jordan Travis. And I think that's fair. I think it's a fair assessment. Listen, something we've talked about all season long is that Washington is one of the four best teams. It's not one of the three best teams in college football. I don't think Ohio State deserves to be ranked number 2. But like we said last week, everything has a way of working itself out. And I firmly believe that it will be an elimination game between Ohio State and Michigan. We'll cover that in our preview show tomorrow. I want to stick with just the rankings right now, though. But listen, Washington's down in the top 4. Washington all but controls their own destiny now to get to the college football playoff. They remain undefeated. And Florida State still may have an outside chance of getting in if they can somehow remain undefeated and defeat Louisville in the ACC championship game. But the question becomes, are they really one of the top 4 teams in the country without Jordan Travis? And something we talked about last week is, we're not worried about resume. We're not worried about strength of schedule. Who are the 4 best teams? When we look at the film and we put the teams head to head, who are actually the 4 best teams? And I think what happens is when you look at Florida State and you know that they don't have Jordan Travis for the remainder of the season, they're not one of the 4 best teams in the country. And the committee has to take that into account. And listen, we'll when it gets time for conference championships previews, we'll cover this. But I'm not even sure Florida State has a legitimate chance of defeating Louisville without Jordan Travis. So we'll cross that path when we get there. But if we're just talking about the 4 best teams, we have to stop with the strength of schedule, resume. No. Who are the 4 best teams in the country right now? And that's what we have to take that into account, and that's how we have to gauge these these debates. That's the parameters we have to base it off of. And listen, Washington show that they can win a low-scoring game and show that they can play with physical teams. And we talked about how Oregon State is one of, if not the most physical team in the Pac-12, and Washington showed that they could play with them on the road at that. So that's a huge win, one of the biggest wins of the year for any team. And that kind of segues into what Oregon will be able to do against Oregon State when they match up together. If that will be but an elimination game as well for Oregon and Texas as well. And then they got Texas Tech this weekend, and Alabama. These one-loss teams. if we look at film, who's the best one-loss team right now? And I don't think it's particularly a question. Alabama's the best one-loss team right now, and there's a lot of debate, there's a lot of speculation. Well, Texas has the head-to-head against Alabama, but Texas has struggled immensely over the last half of the season. But if you're Texas, you want an opportunity to play Oklahoma again in the Big 12 championship game, and they might get that. And if you're Oregon, you want a chance to avenge your loss against Washington earlier on in the season, and you'll get that. And if you're Alabama, you want to prove to everyone that you are the best one-loss team in the country, you'll get that when you play Georgia in the SEC championship game. So, there's a lot of debate, there's a lot of speculation about what could happen, who should be the best one-loss team, who should be ranked highest amongst the one-loss teams. Listen, all of that is going to answer itself in the next 2 weeks. So that's why there's not a lot of cause for concern with me, and there's not a lot of cause for concern with the committee, because all this gets answered out. I guarantee you, with Oregon, Texas, and Alabama, they're not all going to win their conference. They're not all going to win the conference championship. If you ask me, I think Alabama has the best chance to win their conference championship, because I think they are the best team amongst those three one-loss teams. I think Alabama's one of the 4 best teams in the country. After that, I think Texas has the best chance of beating Oklahoma. Again, Oklahoma has struggled a bit as of late. But Oregon, I don't think has a realistic chance of beating Washington. Listen, I talked about this before. Oregon only has one top 25 victory on their resume, and that's Utah. And I don't think that Oregon is as physical and as good as people believe they are. So I think they're all but eliminated. I don't even think that Oregon's going to get past Oregon State. So that all but eliminated right there. But as I was saying, these things have a way of working themselves out. I know we talked about this last week. Listen, but really when it comes down to it, you just want to get the 4 best teams. Who are the 4 best teams? I don't care about the resume. I don't care about the strength of schedule, conference. No. Who are the 4 best teams in college football right now? And that's what you have to look at. And if that's the true parameter, that the committee wants to go by, getting the 4 best teams in the playoff, then you would put Alabama in there. And you would, no question about it, would have Alabama ranked the highest amongst the one-loss teams. And it's that simple. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Leave your thoughts in the chat room. Who do you guys think is the best one-loss team? And what do you guys think about Washington finally joining the top 4? Is it too late, or is it right on time? What do you guys think? I think that Washington should have been ranked in the top 4 long before this. I would have moved Ohio State. I don't think Ohio State is a top 4 team, and we're gonna see why in our preview show tomorrow. I don't want to get too deep into it, guys. I know we got our preview show, like I said, tomorrow. I just wanted to cover the rankings today, since I wasn't able to do it yesterday. But I think this is going to be a big preview show that we have tomorrow, guys. Big week in college football. Listen, the good thing, even with the BCS system, more so really with the college football playoff rankings, things have a way of working themselves out. Things have a way of playing out and eliminating a lot of what-if questions that we have for the committee as we start to get closer and closer to the final selection Sunday. And like I said, this iteration is no different from previous seasons. Things are gonna work themselves out. So there's never a need to stress too much over this scenario. But with that being said, guys, that is it for our show for today. Quick 12-minute show. Just wanted to cover the rankings, like I said. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well, so you guys can stay up to date on all of our latest content that we post daily. And be sure to follow us on Patreon as well. You can do so by going to patreon.com, clicking on the search bar, and typing in Sorry Bobby Show. That way you gain access to all of our exclusive content. And if you'd like to support our network and our company, you can do so by following the link in the ticker below. It's streamelements.com/SorryBodyShow/tip. Once again, it's streamelements.com/SorryBodyShow/tip. We'll leave links to our Patreon, to our official website where you can access to our merchandise, and links to where you can make donations as well. We'll leave links to all of those sites in the description so that you can come back and check it out whenever you like. Guys, we'll be back again, same time tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with another show for you guys. Until then, guys, continue to stay safe, be vigilant, make smart decisions, and peace.